Is there a minimum amount of debt that you must have in order to file for bankruptcy? Well, let's discuss that today. My name is Chirnese Liverpool, and I'm an attorney with the law offices of Chirnese L. Liverpool. We are a boutique bankruptcy law firm servicing clients in California and Nevada. So if you are a resident of California and Nevada, you can please listen into this information. However, if you're not a resident of California or Nevada, you want to speak with an attorney in your jurisdiction because the laws may be different in your area. So the question we're going to be discussing today is there a minimum amount of debt that I must have in order to file for bankruptcy? According to the Federal Bankruptcy Code, there is no minimum amount of debt that you must have in order to file for bankruptcy. But there's a few things that you need to take into consideration to determine whether or not bankruptcy will be beneficial for you in your situation. The first thing is whether or not you can negotiate with your creditors. So can you negotiate with your creditors, call them up, settle for a lower amount that maybe you can pay them? If you can do that, that is one way to avoid filing for bankruptcy. The second option is, can you afford to pay your debt outside of a bankruptcy? So say you only have $3,000 or $4,000 worth of credit card debt. That's a low amount of debt. So you may want to be able to pay that outside of the bankruptcy. It's not worth it to file for bankruptcy on only $3,000 or $4,000 worth of debt. The third thing that you want to consider is, will the bankruptcy eliminate enough of your debt to make it worth it for you? So not all debts are going to be dischargeable in a bankruptcy. So here are some of the things that are not dischargeable. Student loans are not going to be dischargeable. Anything that occurs due to fraud or any damages because of drunk driving, spousal support, child support, most tax debts, those things are not going to be dischargeable in bankruptcy. So you need to look at your whole total picture of your debt and determine, if you take all of these non-dischargeable debts and throw them away, how much debt do I have left, and is that worth it? Is it beneficial for me to file for bankruptcy? And that is your answer right there pretty much. So sometimes there will be some pressing issues where you don't have really a choice that you need to go ahead and file for bankruptcy. And some of those things are, say, for example, one, you have a pending wage garnishment. If you receive notification from your employer that they're going to start to take money out of your paycheck because of a creditor has filed a lawsuit against you and gotten a judgment, and they're now collecting on that judgment, you want to go ahead and start to work on, figuring out whether or not bankruptcy is right for you. The second way is if you have a pending lawsuit. So say you get served with a lawsuit, you don't want to just do anything and let them get a default judgment against you and start the collection efforts, which would be back to the garnishing your paycheck stubs. Or they can levy against your bank account. They could put a lien on your home. They have a lot of rights that they can use to collect against you once they have gotten that judgment against you. So those are some pressing things. Perhaps you have a foreclosure sale scheduled really soon. Those things are pressing that you want to have a little bit of an urgency against you about whether or not you want to go ahead and file for bankruptcy. But these are all things that you want to discuss with your bankruptcy attorney so they know if there's anything that they need to rush on their behalf to stop any lawsuits and anything like that. And if it's even worth it for you to file for bankruptcy. So say you only have $2,000 worth of credit card debt, but you have $200,000 worth of student loans. If the student loans are not going to be dischargeable, which majority of the time they are not, it's not going to be worth it for you to file for bankruptcy with only $2,000 worth of credit card debt. So these are some of the things that you want to consider. And you want to talk with your bankruptcy attorney to see whether bankruptcy is going to be right for you. I am licensed in the state of California and Nevada. So if you are a resident of one of those states, I do provide a free strategy call where we can determine whether or not bankruptcy is right for you and whether it'll be Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. In addition, I do have a free freebie for you. I'm going to put the link down below. And the freebie is 5 ways to stop your creditors from calling even if you can't afford to pay them. So if you'd like to take advantage of that free PDF, you can just click the link down below and that PDF will be emailed to you as soon as you can. All right, so I hope that you liked this video and I hope that I answered your question about whether or not there's a minimum amount of debt that you must have in order to file for bankruptcy. If you like the content that I'm providing on this channel, please consider subscribing. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.